Everything the royal family has said about Jeffrey Epstein on the record. Prince Edward has publicly spoken about the victims, while the Prince and Princess of Wales are said to be deeply concerned by the continuing revelations. The Jeffrey Epstein scandal has cast one of the longest shadows across the British royal family in recent decades. Over the years, various members have been forced to address the late financier's crimes and the connections that linked him to Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the Duke of York. While Andrew himself remains the central figure in the controversy, other senior royals have made carefully worded public statements that reveal how the institution has grappled with the fallout. King Charles III has spoken with the most direct institutional weight, especially after ascending the throne in September 2022. In a statement released through Buckingham Palace in early 2026, the King expressed profound concern over the persistent allegations. He confirmed that he stands ready to support any formal police investigation should Thames Valley Police decide to move beyond their current assessment. The monarch emphasized that no one is above the law, and that justice must be allowed to take its full course. Charles also reiterated his sympathy for all victims of abuse, stating that his thoughts remain with those who suffered at Epstein's hands. The palace made clear that full cooperation would be offered, including access to documents, correspondence, or witness availability if requested. This pledge marked the strongest public commitment yet from the sovereign to facilitate independent scrutiny of his brother's past. Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, followed with their own message, released through Kensington Palace shortly before the King's statement. The couple said they were deeply concerned by the continuing revelations from the unsealed Epstein files that have emerged in recent months. Their words placed victims at the absolute center of their response, signaling moral alignment with justice rather than defense of any individual. The statement was interpreted by many as a deliberate distancing from Prince Andrew and a clear indication of where their sympathies lie. William, who is next in line to the throne, has reportedly taken a particularly firm private stance on the need for accountability. According to well-placed royal commentators, he has no hesitation in supporting a police probe if he were already king. This position reflects a generational shift toward greater transparency and institutional responsibility over unconditional family protection. Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, has also addressed the scandal publicly, though his comments have focused more directly on the victims themselves. In a rare on-the-record remark, Edward spoke with genuine compassion about the suffering endured by those exploited by Epstein and his network. He described the revelations as deeply disturbing and stressed that every victim deserves full recognition and justice. Edward's words were measured yet heartfelt, avoiding any mention of his brother while centering the human cost of the crimes. The Royal Princess Anne has remained characteristically silent on the Epstein matter, choosing not to comment publicly at any point. Her approach aligns with her long-standing preference for discretion and her focus on duty rather than engaging with media controversies. Queen Camilla has likewise avoided any direct public statement, though palace sources indicate she fully supports the king's position. The late Queen Elizabeth II never addressed the Epstein scandal on record, maintaining complete silence even during the height of the controversy. Her strategy was to let official statements come from palace spokespeople, while she concentrated on continuity and public service until the very end. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has not issued any formal comment about Epstein, though she has faced separate allegations of financial ties. Reports have claimed she accepted substantial sums from Epstein, though those claims remain unproven and have not led to legal action. Ferguson has consistently maintained that any contact was limited and entirely innocent, facilitated through mutual social connections. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie Andrews' daughters have never spoken publicly about Epstein or their father's association. Both princesses have chosen to remain steadfastly loyal in private, visiting their father regularly while keeping a low public profile. Their silence reflects both personal devotion and an understanding of the palace's desire to limit further exposure on the issue. The collective royal response has evolved over time, beginning with near total silence and gradually shifting toward openness. Early statements from Buckingham Palace focused on victim sympathy and the fact that Andrew had already stepped back from public duties. Later messages under Charles's reign have grown more explicit, acknowledging the seriousness of the allegations and pledging institutional cooperation. William and Kate's intervention added moral weight, emphasizing concern for victims and distancing themselves from past associations. The King's readiness to support a police investigation represents the clearest signal yet that the monarchy will not obstruct justice. Public opinion remains deeply divided on the handling of the scandal, with some praising the family's increasing transparency and others demanding more. Polls conducted in recent months show support for the monarchy, slipping noticeably as the Epstein files continue to generate headlines. The uncertainty among respondents has also risen sharply, indicating that many people no longer know what to think about the institution. Victims' advocacy groups have welcomed the royal statements, but stress that words must now be matched by concrete action. They continue to call for full cooperation and for anyone linked financially to Epstein to provide sworn testimony or full disclosure. The Epstein files themselves show no sign of slowing, with further batches expected as civil litigation and appeals proceed. Each new release risks reigniting media coverage and placing fresh pressure on the royal household to respond. For King Charles, the challenge is clear and ongoing, balancing private family ties with public duty and institutional integrity. His statement pledging support for any police probe may ultimately prove to be a defining moment of his reign. Prince William's parallel expression of deep concern reinforces the message that the younger generation prioritizes accountability. The royal family has spoken on the record at different times, with different tones yet always returning to the same core themes: sympathy for victims, respect for the legal process, and a determination to protect the monarchy's long-term reputation. The Epstein scandal remains one of the most persistent challenges the institution has faced in the modern era, as documents continue to emerge and public scrutiny intensifies. The royal family's recorded words offer a window into their evolving response. From Prince Edward's compassionate focus on victims, to William and Kate's deep concern and Charles's readiness to cooperate, the family has moved from near silence toward cautious openness. Whether that openness proves sufficient to restore trust will depend on actions that follow the statements already made. The story continues unfolding, one release, one comment, and one difficult question at a time. King Charles has broken his silence, Prince William has followed. And the record now shows a monarchy attempting to confront an enduring shadow. The public watches closely, waiting to see whether words will lead to meaningful change or remain just words. Everything the royal family has said on the record reveals a careful path through one of its darkest chapters. The journey is far from over, but the statements made so far mark important steps along the way.